Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin with a question. Have you ever met someone whose presence alone lights up the room not because of how young they are, but because of how alive they are? Today I want to remind you that true attractiveness has very little to do with the calendar and everything to do with the choices we make every day. In fact, if you are between 60 and 80 years old and you are still doing these 6 things, you have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and without saying a single word, they already draw everyone's attention? Their hair may have turned silver, and their skin may carry the beautiful patterns of time, but their presence feels magnetic. That magnetism does not come from youth. It comes from confidence and the way they choose to radiate positivity. When you are 60, 70, or even 80, the glow you carry comes not from what the mirror reflects, but from what the heart projects. Confidence is not arrogance, nor is it about pretending to be perfect. True confidence is the quiet acceptance of who you are. Scars, wrinkles, memories, and all. It is standing tall, knowing that your worth is not determined by age but by the life you have lived and the lessons you have embraced. There is a saying, wrinkles merely indicate where smiles have been. When you wear your life's experiences with dignity, every line becomes a mark of beauty, every story becomes a gift, and every moment you share becomes an inspiration. Once heard the story of a woman who, at 74, walked into her first painting class. She had always loved colors but never held a brush before. On the first day, she felt nervous, surrounded by younger students. But instead of shrinking into the background, she stood proudly, telling the teacher, "I may not be the fastest learner, but I promise to be the happiest one." Her laughter was contagious, and soon she became the center of the group. People admired her not because her paintings were perfect, but because her joy in creating them reminded everyone that beauty is not about results. It's about the spirit with which we embrace life. That spirit is confidence. Confidence is also deeply connected to positivity. Life at 60 or 80 is not without challenges. The body may not always respond as quickly as before, and the world may sometimes feel like it is moving faster than we can follow. But the way you choose to view these changes determines the energy you carry. A person who meets each day with gratitude, who says, "I am blessed to wake up and witness this sunrise," becomes more radiant than any cosmetics could make them. Positivity is a light that shines from within, and like the glow of a candle, it has the power to brighten not only your own space but also the lives of those around you. There was once a man who, after losing his spouse of 50 years, was often asked how he found the strength to keep smiling. He replied, "Every morning, I write down one thing that I'm grateful for. It may be the sound of the birds, the laughter of a neighbor, or simply the fact that I can still feel the warmth of the sun. These little things remind me that life is still beautiful." His habit of focusing on what remained, rather than what was lost, gave him an aura of peace that people were naturally drawn to. Confidence and positivity are not masks to hide behind. They are habits of the heart, cultivated every day. If you tell yourself, "I am too old to be noticed," you close a door that could have led to joy. But if you tell yourself, "I am still capable of learning, laughing, and loving," then you open a window to endless possibilities. The energy you send out is the same energy that returns to you. People will see you as you see yourself. And yet, confidence of the mind must be supported by strength of the body. Just as a flame needs fuel to keep burning, the spirit needs movement to remain bright. Staying physically active is not only about health, it is about vitality, posture, and the way you carry yourself through the world. Think of a tree. When its roots are strong, it stands tall no matter how many storms it has faced. Your body is that tree, and activity is the nourishment that strengthens its roots. A woman once told me that after turning 65, she felt invisible in social gatherings. She decided to join a morning walking group in her neighborhood. At first, she could barely keep pace, but with each passing week, her stamina improved. Within months, she not only walked faster but also laughed louder, smiled brighter, and carried herself with grace. She said, "It's not just my body that feels stronger, it's my spirit." When you take care of your body, it begins to support your confidence. Activity does not need to mean running marathons or lifting heavy weights. Even gentle practices such as stretching, yoga, tai chi, or a simple walk in the park awaken the body. Movement improves circulation, nourishes the skin, strengthens muscles, and sharpens the mind. More importantly, it reminds you that you are still alive, still capable, still growing. The body may age, but the inner flame does not have to dim. There is a beautiful saying, "You do not stop moving because you grow old because you stop moving." Many seniors discover that the moment they stop being active, they begin to feel disconnected from life. But those who continue to move, even in small ways, notice that their energy attracts others. People admire the glow that comes from vitality, not just from appearance. I once met a man in his 70s who practiced a short routine of exercises every morning. They were simple movements, stretching his arms, breathing deeply, bending gently, yet he carried himself with such balance and elegance that everyone assumed he was younger. When I asked him his secret, he said, "The body is like a lamp. If you let the dust settle, the light becomes dim. But if you keep polishing it with movement, it will shine brightly no matter its age." Physical activity also feeds the mind. Scientific studies may confirm it, but experience alone will tell you. After a walk, after a stretch, after a dance, your thoughts feel clearer, your emotions lighter, your confidence stronger, and this energy radiates outward. People see not just how you look but how you live. Confidence and physical vitality are not separate, they are intertwined. A positive mindset encourages you to care for your body, and a healthy body reinforces your positive mindset. Together, they create an aura that makes you deeply attractive no matter the number on your birthday cake. Not just living, you are shining. There is something truly remarkable about a person who remains curious no matter their age. Curiosity is like the flame of a lantern. When kept alive, it lights not only your own path but also inspires those who walk beside you. A curious mind does not grow old. It grows deeper, richer, and more radiant with time. At 60, 70, or even 80, curiosity makes your presence magnetic, because people can sense the sparkle in your eyes when you speak about the wonders you still seek to understand. I once met a man who was 78 years old. He was learning to play the violin for the first time. Some might have said it was too late, that such things were meant for children or young adults. But he smiled and replied, "I do not need to become a master. I only wish to know the language of music, to feel how it moves through my fingers." His practice was not perfect, but the sound carried an honesty that touched the heart. When he played for his grandchildren, they were mesmerized, not because the notes were flawless, but because his spirit was alive with discovery. That is the power of curiosity. A curious mind is like a garden. The more you plant, the more it grows. If you keep asking questions, if you continue reading, learning, exploring new hobbies, your mind remains fertile and full of life. People who meet you will feel the freshness of your perspective, the warmth of your engagement, and the sincerity of your interest. As the saying goes, you don't stop laughing because you grow old. You grow old because you stop laughing. In the same way, you don't stop being magnetic because you age. You lose magnetism when you stop being curious. Curiosity also keeps your conversations alive. When you ask someone about their story, their culture, their dreams, you become a person others feel drawn to. Listening with genuine interest is itself an act of kindness. People will remember not the words you speak, but the way you made them feel. A curious person makes others feel valued, and that is a rare and beautiful quality. There was a grandmother who loved asking her grandchildren questions about the new technology they were using. Instead of dismissing their gadgets, she asked, "Show me how this works. Teach me something I don't know." Her curiosity not only gave her new knowledge, it created a bridge between generations. The children loved her company because she made them feel important, and she, in return, felt connected to a world that was still evolving around her. Her willingness to learn kept her spirit young, and her family described her as the most engaging person they knew. Alongside curiosity comes another quality that outshines: beauty, creams, and fine clothing. Kindness. True attractiveness comes from the way you treat others, the warmth you extend, and the compassion that flows through your words and actions. A kind person can make others feel safe, valued, and understood, and that kind of presence is unforgettable. Kindness is not shown through grand gestures alone. It lives in the small acts, the smile you offer to a stranger, the patience you show to someone struggling, the gentle tone you use when someone feels discouraged. These are the touches of humanity that make people feel seen. There is a saying, people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. At 60, 70, or 80, when you embody kindness, you become a source of comfort in a world that often feels hurried and distant. I remember the story of an elderly man who used to sit every morning on a park bench near a school. Children would greet him on their way in, and he always responded with a smile and a kind word. One day a boy asked him, "Why are you always so cheerful?" The man replied, "Because every person who passes me deserves to be greeted with light. And if I can be that light for even a moment, then my day is worth living." Over time, he became known as the smiling grandfather. People didn't admire him for his appearance. They were drawn to the warmth he carried in his heart. Kindness also includes forgiveness, not only of others, but of yourself. At this stage in life, many carry regrets for things they could have done differently, but holding on to regret is like carrying a heavy stone. It bends your spirit. When you choose to forgive yourself, when you let go of the past and focus on the present, you allow your heart to shine again. That softness, that ability to live with compassion, makes you more attractive than any outer feature ever could. Humor, too, is a branch of kindness. The ability to laugh with others, to see the lighter side of life, creates bonds stronger than years. An 80-year-old woman once said, "I may not remember where I put my glasses, but I will always remember to laugh at myself when I find them on my head." Her laughter drew people in. They didn't care about her forgetfulness. They loved her ability to turn a small mistake into a shared smile. This kind of joy is irresistible. When curiosity and kindness meet, they create a presence that is magnetic. A curious mind keeps you engaged with the world, while a kind heart connects you deeply with others. Together, They weave an aura that no amount of age can diminish. Imagine a circle. Curiosity is the line that draws you outward, exploring, learning, reaching. Kindness is the center that pulls others toward you. The more curious you remain, the more you grow. The kinder you become, the more people are drawn to your light. This balance makes you truly attractive, not only in appearance but in essence. At 60, 70, or 80, you have the unique gift of experience. You have walked through joys and storms, and still you stand. By choosing to remain curious, you keep growing. By choosing kindness, you keep giving. And those choices make you a person whose presence others cannot forget. So, my friends, if you are in your golden years and still embracing confidence, activity, curiosity, and kindness, you are not just attractive, you are captivating, because the truth is, beauty isn't about looking young. It's about living fully, loving deeply, and shining brightly no matter your age.